I can remember exactly where I was when I saw the news of the invasion of Ukraine.
And there we go. I've just heard the first siren has just gone off.
I was at home at the kitchen table, drinking my first cup of tea and reading through my morning news feeds, and I saw the headlines. I saw that what had been speculated on over many weeks was actually happening, that the fighting had begun while the United States was still sleeping. And the images that were coming out of Ukraine, they were absolutely heartbreaking.
This is what Russian President Vladimir Putin unleashed on Ukraine as the sun came up this morning.
But as Russia attacked Ukraine last February, I was paying attention to another kind of weapon that Russia had in its arsenal. Something it could use against Ukraine and all of its European allies too. Not missiles or tanks or helicopters, but energy.
Russia is cutting off crucial natural gas supplies to both Poland and Bulgaria, both NATO allies. And Moscow is threatening to do the same thing to more European nations.
And that was not something that European leaders had anticipated. They realized that they were not at all on the driving seat. Putin is on the driving seat, and Putin is deciding exactly how much gas Europe is going to get.
I'm Dr. Melissa Lott, and I'm the Director of Research at Columbia University's SIPA Center on Global Energy Policy. I'm also the host of The Big Switch, a show about how to rebuild the energy systems that are all around us. And we're back with a 5-part series on the European energy crisis and how it's impacting the energy transition. Russia's invasion of Ukraine sparked supply shortages, fears of blackouts, and a scramble to find new sources of energy. So in this season of The Big Switch, we're trying to answer the trillion-dollar question. Will this energy crisis speed up or slow down Europe's clean energy transition? And what will it mean for the rest of the world? We look at Poland and Germany specifically to figure out how they got into this mess.
It started 350 years ago. Coal was cheap, it was our domestic energy source, and it developed our economy.
There was the strong conviction in Germany that the country needed Russian gas, and there was also the illusion that Russian natural gas was politically neutral.
And our dependency rate of Germany was 56%. And think of Hungary, 82 or something. And this is a nightmare. It's a nightmare.
So how can Europe wake up from this nightmare?
We must now reduce as soon as possible our dependency on Russian fossil fuels. I'm deeply convinced we can.
It's actually the risk that Europe's wider agenda is to leave gas behind, go for broke for wind and for solar and also to a significant extent for nuclear. And some fear that almost to kind of justify the expense of all this infrastructure, some European governments might commit to gas for longer than they otherwise might have done. So there's a climate risk there as well.
This show is all about trade-offs. And in this season, we're talking about trade-offs on a grand scale, because the decisions that Europe makes now in response to this ongoing crisis have consequences around the world.
When we look back, I think what has happened with Russia's decision to invade Ukraine will be a catalyst for the European Union's energy transition and its faster embrace of renewable energy.
We can do it, and we can do it fast. All we need is the courage and grit to get us there. If ever there was a time to do it, it's now.
Season 3 of The Big Switch drops on June 26th. Listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.